Let's discuss the 6 principles of IDEA. The first principle is going to be free, appropriate public education, also known as FAPE. Basically, what that states is that any student that has a disability has the right to a free, appropriate education, and by appropriate, meaning that education is tailored to their specific needs. And also, the schools are required to provide services, supports, accommodations at no cost to the student's family. The second principle is appropriate evaluation, meaning that if a student is suspected to have a disability, they must be given a fair, non-biased, valid assessment by a trained professional, and their parent must give informed consent before that evaluation takes place, and also their parent at any time can request another evaluation should they disagree with those results. The third principle of IDEA is the IEP, which is the legally binding written plan that is given to a student with a disability. That is written by teachers, administrators, specialists, parents, and then sometimes the student as well whenever that is appropriate. And basically the IEP goes over goals, accommodations, services, and how their progress will be monitored. The fourth principle of the IDEA is the least restrictive environment, or LRE. Basically, what that states is that students with disabilities should be taught in the general education setting as much as possible. They should be included with their peers without disabilities to the maximum extent appropriate. And also, they should only be pulled to separate classrooms or their special education setting if their needs are not able to be met in that gen ed setting, even with support. Okay, the fifth principle of IDEA is parent and student participation. Basically, what that means is that parents must be included in any and all decisions made about their child. Um, if a school is conducting an evaluation, or there are any changes being made in regards to their child, they are required to be notified. Um, and then the student, especially older students, should also be included in making decisions whenever it comes to their learning goals. And the sixth and final principle of IDEA is procedural safeguards, and basically those are legal protections for students with disabilities and their parents. Basically, that states that parents have the right to review school records. They have the right to disagree with the school and request mediation or due process hearing. They have the right to receive written notice before any changes are being made whenever it comes to their child. And then they have the right to confidentiality of information whenever it comes to their child and the student. Basically, these 6 principles of IDEA that we have discussed have a direct and powerful impact on students with exceptionalities. They shape how schools identify, support, and educate students that have exceptionalities. When it comes to my perspective on the principles of IDEA, being someone who is studying to hopefully become an special education teacher myself, and the current experience that I have as an assistant in a special education setting, I feel like the principles of IDEA somewhat give students with disabilities, exceptionalities, a voice. I feel like school may be a little bit chaotic for them without these principles. I feel like the principles are designed specifically to make sure and make it a goal for these students to still get a proper education as best they can, that is close as possible to some, like a student without disabilities or exceptionalities will get, and basically set them up for their future life so that they can succeed on their own, because that is a big worry, I feel like, for those students with exceptionalities and disabilities as well. So basically, I think that they are very important, and I agree with all of them. And I can see how they would have a very great impact on those students, just from my experience working with exceptionality students myself.